are committed to ensure prudent, transparent, and sustainable management of public funds. In achieving the above, the county government submitted the first revised estimate for the financial year 2024-2025. This was economic realities, including the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024 by the national government, have led to the revision of the Homa Bay County government resource envelope upwards from 11 billion. The county treasury has dealt with a number of constraints, and chairman of Homa Bay had unspent balance of 600 and special purpose account, the SPA account, and county revenue the funds to their respective source department and programs. In preparing this report, the committee took into account fiscal responsibilities to implement various county assembly resolutions. In conclusion, the committee analyzed the Homa Bay County government supplementary budget estimate for the financial year 2024-2025 so as to ensure compliance with the Article 201 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and other relevant legislations. Honorable Speaker, we have got the legal guidelines of the supplementary budget for the financial year 2024-2025. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, Section 135 of the PFM Act 9 of the prepare and submit the county supplementary budget estimate describe how the additional expenditure relates to the fiscal responsibility, provides that each accounting officer shall within the guidelines of the supplementary budget through a notification which shall be copied to the Auditor General. B, tariff adjustment and price increase. Act 2015 provides that the request for supplementary budget in paragraph 5 shall be presented in a format that facilitates comparison with the original budget and shall contain all the information necessary to enable a decision on the application for the to be reached. Regulation 39(9) of the documents by the CCM. The first supplementary budget estimate for the financial year 2024-2025 was received by the Office of the Clerk on 4th, 958,700,558,762 up from 11,802 up from 11,876,978,601 60,406 in addition to unsub from the previous financial year 2023-2024 of financial year 2023-2024 of 98,349,349 and 650,270,000. On the other hand, the projections for equitable shares of revenue revision of allocation to county government through the division 82,558,762 in this supplementary budget estimate up on on-source revenue performance, whereas the target for on-source revenue is proposed shillings, which is equated to 45%, had been collected the annual target of 1.4. Got the revised projection for conditional grants for the financial year 2024-2025. The target by 26%, 26.8% to 6.8% to 2.32 billion to revoting of unspent conditional grants balances in the county revenue fund. Project special purpose account, the SPA account, as at the close of the financial year 2023-2024. Further, the following the enactment of the Amendment Additional Allocation Act 2024, the county government is set to receive new conditional grants, including 105,263,000 being arrears and economic planning. Highlighted to the committee that the county government and development expenditure delivery. We have recommendations should be 68,357,000 efficient legislation and oversight. 48,935,000 for fencing of the ward offices. We have recommendation on that broken down as follows. For recurrent is 1,027,402,909. 271,500,617,779 will focus on policy and plan CUSP, UDG, and urban development services programs will prioritize the establishment of tree nursery to promote environmental sustainability. We have got the recommendation there in the revised budget estimate for the financial year 2024-2025. The total department's allocation should be 78,542,888, which is broken down as below. We have got the recurrent allocation of 28,623,320, and on development is 49,919,568. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, there's a table below, there's a table under that will help us analyze. We are going to the office of the Deputy Governor and Department of Agriculture, Irrigation and Livestock Production. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, in the approved budget estimate for the financial year 2024-2025, the committee observed that the department was allocated 480,293 for a the Department of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, Rangwe and Magunga, productivity, market access and food security. Honorable Security. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, let me take cultural heritage and social, honorable members. Let me take cultural heritage and social services. We have got our observation in the approved budget estimate for the financial year. Honorable Speaker, the Department of Culture, the Department of Culture, Social Department of Culture, Social develop opportunities and representation in sports development opportunities and representation in sports development. The department 52,119,567, and for development Gingo Bridge road and for development, Gingo Bridge, bridge. Road development, our recommendation, the recommendations there, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, in the revised 830,385,190, which is broken down into 5,190, which is broken down into recurrent allocation at 155,385,190. Then on ask, the committee observed that the department 170,446 allocation should be 203,089,978, which is broken down budget estimate. The department's resources, early year education services, materials, tools, and Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, we have got the recommendations there. The department has allocated its financial resources. Project purchasing a motor vehicle for the CUSP, SMEs development, and the construction. Should be 899,456,800 for recurrent expenditure, 23 million for innovation and operations, 23 million for innovation and operations. We observed in the approved budget mortgage programs and fund of the county attorney's office to ensure honorable members, we have got department's allocation should be 17,807,000. There is a table there that illustrates the narration above. Honorable Speaker, honorable members can check it. For the financial year 2024-25, the committee observed that the department was allocated a total of 17,870,274. This allocation comprised of 9,870,274 for recurrent expenditure and 8 million for development purposes. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, we have the revised allocation to the municipality board. The policy planning and administration service program will focus on operation and general office operation. The public works and land for dam site and the development of a 10-kilometer drainage system to improve urban infrastructure. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, we have got our recommendations there, and the recommendations in the revised estimate for the finance. The total department's allocation should be 870,274, which is broken down as follows. Honorable Speaker, we have got the recurrent allocation at 9 million. Honorable Speaker, let me move to Ndewa municipality. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, department was allocated a total of 17,870,274. This allocation comprised of 9,870,274 for recurrent expenditure and 8 million for development purposes. Honorable Speaker, the revised allocation to the board municipal board of Ndewa, the policy planning and administration services program funds will focus on employees' compensation and the general operation of the municipality. The Public Works and Infrastructure Improvement Services Program, UDG, as below. Honorable Speaker, for the recurrent allocation, we having 12,833,600 that the committee, that the county government should expedite the completion utilized to inform decision making market and targeting additional own source revenue. The outstanding bills. Honorable Speaker, we observed the the executive, we will wish that, as I end, I want to read my prayer for this committee. The Budget and Appropriations Committee prays that this Honorable House do and again I will also call Honorable Nicholas Owaka of this report, and I will give few highlights. Honorable Speaker, in reverse, that matters HR has been an issue in this county because of the bloated wage bill before the Committee of Budget to allow us actually make of the staffs. At the end of the day, that will always percentage of 30 actually going up to 40 plus as we speak. Municipality allocation actually going up to 40 plus as we speak. Municipality allocation. If you look at the allocation, if you go to Kindo Bay, if you come to, of course, Mbita, do we think that no, and we believe that a lot needs to be done. At the end of the day, they are able to undertake their duties as required by the law. Honorable Speaker, I also want to agree with my colleague Chair that under education, at some point, we can vividly recall that we had an allocation of 20. This was as a request of some of the projects that were unfinished, the stalled projects during the last regime. But you see, this amount is not enough, because if we come back to 2022, 2023, you'll also realize that there was an allocation that we gave to Education Department to undertake our ECD, which was supposed to be 2 classrooms per ward. And this money was not enough. The contractors actually abandoning the work and leaving the work unattended to, which means we are looking forward to ensure that that is addressed accordingly. And then that means that to be given to the Department of Education that will be. Honorable Speaker, and on the same breath, also undertaking Ondoa Kaunda, we want to see a little bit of increment. This increment will definitely ensure that in the events that we have those wards that are in the far end, like Mfangano, those wards that enhance in order to help us actually achieve what we undertake to achieve. That give us the benefit of doubt, we are getting there. Honorable Speaker, we as the Budget Committee at the forthcoming Madaraka Day, which will be celebrated on 1st, an opportunity to give an allocation to this. We looked at, you realize that we host the celebration. So the amount that was requested, such kind of an event that is coming with good, we actually realize that is what our government is actually to tell you, that if Kindo Bay Showground is actually improved, then I want to say that we looked at this and we realized as a committee that we cannot deny the exact Kindo Bay Showground. And I know when we do that, my brother Adinda, the amount of water and concentrate in seeing the bulls and others. Honorable Speaker, that is construction of funeral parlor
completion and even equipping it at 51 million. Honorable Parla, completion and even equipping it at 51 million. Honorable Speaker, how I wish that I encourage my members, my colleague honorable members, that please go just behind the HOMA Bay teacher, please go just behind the HOMA Bay teaching and referral, look at that, a wonderful one indeed. I believe at that, a wonderful one indeed. I believe that if it is completed in Siaya, so I'm telling you that the 51 million committed in Siaya. So I'm telling you that the 51 million, another flagship projects that we've seen, accident and 881, 737. Can you consume the 186? 737. Can you consume the 186? Then we can 737. Can you consume the 186? Then we can give you the balance. Since the physical space was not enough. Honorable Speaker, the physical space was not enough. Honorable Speaker, trip there, beautiful, that is actually going to give us an opportunity also to be among the counties. Our Governor Gladys Atieno, Nyasuna Wanga, they love Nyasuna Wanga, she loves beautiful things. And I believe that has talked about it. Clearly. Remember, we have there, 40 million. The last time we gave this 40 million. The last time we gave this allocation, remember, they are just about to start and our roads are not yet started. Honorable Speaker, this is not a laughing matter. We said that in the event that they don't fix our roads before rains, and rains are just starting, we are going to call the Minister for Roads here. But we did not touch the 400 million that we gave them. We want to see this utilized to the maximum. They indicated to us that already BQs are there, are drawn, and they are out to, of course, do the advertisement. Has delayed, which we as a committee, we are actually requesting members to approve. If you don't call them, let the committee of budget not be blamed because the court of the chair of ward-based. Honorable Speaker, health budget, then we are going to interfere with the health department. Again, the ball is on the court of the chair, ward-based, and the committee members. If you fail us, we will call you here and ask the question. The same has been done to the Department of Trade, my brothers and sisters, and we saw a 40 million. We decided to leave it as it is. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, on the county assembly budget, Honorable Speaker, on the county assembly budget, my chair talked about our ward officers at 80 million in phase 1 and also phase 2. Please scrutinize that budget. You will realize that it is intact. Once our ward officers are complete, we don't want to see stories. We don't want to hear stories because the budget is there, Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank my chair for ensuring that this 80 plus 80 is maintained, plus 40 is also there for fencing, which 40 has been enhanced to 50. Honorable Speaker, you'll realize that that is the assembly budget. My good friends, Honorable Speaker and members, there is this part. There has been a cry on the committee allocation for the staffs. If you go to the staff's allocation, you'll realize that the 60, which was there, has been enhanced by 7 million. We are remaining with 3 months. We are only asking you that your appetite should be confined within the 7 million, so that we look at how we can again appropriate another one, but we've enhanced it by 7 million. Honorable Speaker, that was to take good care of our staffs. I believe that there is also the committee allocation which has been enhanced by 6 million. My good friend, my good speaker and honorable members, we are doing a lot of work, and even what was given to us might not be enough But we would have wished to give more than 6. But where could we have gotten it? Because this is just but a supplementary what? Budget. We are asking you to bear with us, approve 6, and then after 3 months, we again enhance it on upward trajectory, so that at the end of the day, we work as a team. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I told you that I will be working on reverse and responding on reverse. If you look at the few highlights, and there are 6 that I will take you through, then I sit, that the resource envelope has actually grown from 1.105 billion to 11 to 12. By 12, 982, 558, 762. The conditional grant has also grown by 499.60, 406. I will tell you that, honorable members, when you look at equalization fund, which has been revised, and that is upward by 131. Honorable members, honorable speaker and honorable members, some members were saying, how comes that equalization fund was only given to Ndiwa and Soba? I want to explain. When you come to Ndiwa, we are the most disadvantaged. Mesmerized that some of my colleagues might look a little bit huge, but they are suffering servants of God. Soba is even the worst, where Nura is coming from. And that is why you see rainfall there is unreliable. That is why at times some of the roads there, when you look at them, they are pathetic. In the wisdom of the person who was distributing this, he decided to consider Soba and Ndiwa. But now, a savior has come. They have not actually the projects. They have given 100. You must be falling in the category of disadvantage. Don't be people from the town. 2, 585. 2, 41, 127, 417. I want to also take note that there is also an increase 016. Our concern as a
Right Honorable Speaker, committee as a member, for this committee as a member, for this great work they've done. Right Honorable Speaker, if you look at it also touches on our mandate as a budget and a preparation committee, majorly to review and also make recommendation to the county assembly on the to us. And I want members to look at it very keenly in terms of the movement, particularly on figures, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, we are talking about revenues. Speaker, we are talking about revenues. And on the other side, we are talking about expenditures. If you look at the approved budget, approved estimate for financial year 2024-2025 in terms of for financial year 2024-2025 in terms of revenue, the increment as a percentage is about Speaker. Increment as a percentage is about Speaker. That tells us something as honorable members, that in terms of the equitable share, that notwithstanding the and the same on terms of own source revenue, and that is the ordinary one, also remains the same at 501, honorable. Point to note, in terms of revenue, there is a 650 million, 270 June 2024 capitation, which was never received at the June 2024 capitation, which was never received at the end of the financial 2020. Speaker, this money has since been revoted. And Speaker, this money has since been revoted. And if you look at the calculation, 1.1 billion is being revoted in this supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker. That a composition of 600 in this supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker. That a composition of 650 in terms balance of about 98 million, and there also unspent balance of about one thing is very clear. In terms of delays in disbursement, this is a very big challenge for counties, Homa Bay County being one of them. Something in terms of planning. Honorable Speaker, the challenge has to be addressed. Of the personal, in terms of the compensation of employees, Honorable Speaker, paying our employees well over 50% of our budget, Honorable Speaker. This one again, Honorable Speaker, in the approved estimates, we are 6%, Honorable, 49.6, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the challenge and the biggest challenge we have as a county is the number two. They are talking about staff audits, and our chair mentioned something on the recommendation about the performance-based contracting. Speaker, these are areas that have to be addressed for us to achieve the 35 mark. Right, Honorable Speaker, if you look at this again, is the issue of on-source revenue. Our target, Honorable Speaker, was about 1.4 billion. But in the last 7 months, the county government has only received, in figures, net 660, which means we are not near our target. We still have a few months to go, but we want to encourage and also encourage the county executive to ensure that they set realistic targets and also work towards those targets, Honorable Speaker. When we don't achieve our targets, Honorable Speaker, in terms of the on-source revenue, which, if you look at this, it's a good percentage of our revenue, then most of the projects we are talking about will not be implemented, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, one other thing that we have to again add our voice on is the issue of financial discipline. Our conditional grant is moving from 1.8 to 2.3, a big percentage of revenue. If we don't have financial discipline, Honorable Speaker, then we might not have conditional grant coming to this county. How I wish that we put that into consideration so that we, in future, we receive these conditional grants, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are a number of significant changes, particularly in the departments. Honorable Speaker, just to look at it, and this is very important for honorable members to note, that for example, in the Department of Finance and Economic Planning, they requested for 397 million and some hundred. In the wisdom of this committee, we enhanced this to 424 million in terms of development, Honorable Speaker. This is something that members should note. Again, if you look at the office of the Deputy Governor, and also that is the Department of Agriculture and Livestock, they requested 403, but in our wisdom as a committee, we have it at 393 million, 907, 919, which means our role as a committee is to review, and in some instances, to increase or to decrease, depending on the submissions of the department, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Worker mentioned something about the flagship, which is very key in this improvement of Kindu Showground. We allocated a budget, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Worker again mentioned something on the construction of Freedom Pala, which the county proposed a 51 million. We've not touched that, Honorable Speaker, because we want that project to be completed. And the other bit, which is also interesting, is about the accident and emergency, phase 1. The executive requested 100 million. We have not touched that, Honorable Speaker. What we are asking as a committee and also as a house is that implementation has to be done, Honorable Speaker. Some of this flagship project, including the Riwa County Industrial Park development, where the executive requested a budget, we allocated that, Honorable Speaker. We are adding our voice again, Honorable Speaker, that implementation is key. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the recommendation in this report, Honorable Speaker, one is about issues wage bill. And we are requesting, and not even requesting, let me use the right word, we are recommending that the in charge person, that is a CCM in charge of finance and economic planning, needs to bring a compliance plan to this Honorable House. And the way they want to address the 49.2 wage bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the last few months or years, there was an audit that was done in terms of HOMA. Have that report in this House so that we discuss it and make a relevant recommendation so that we address issues here wage bill. That is a big challenge to our county, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, those many remarks, issues pending bill, as I finish, Honorable Speaker, we have allocated 452,206,146 to address pending bills. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the total wage bill that was presented to us as a committee is 592. As a committee, in our wisdom, led by able chair, the Honorable Titus Asiago, member for HOMA Kaksingiri East, we allocated 452 million. That money has to clear the pending bills so that in future we have a zero balance in terms of pending bills. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, we did our best, pursuant to section 135 and also 154, and also our standing order 213. Honorable Speaker, regulation 39, 1 to 9 is very clear on our mandate. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tony. Honorable Omolo Eric.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, I want to start by supporting this document. And Honorable Speaker, today we are deliberating on the first supplementary budget estimates for the financial year 2024-2025. Honorable Speaker, this document is indeed very crucial. As submitted to this House, we know it gives a summary of the fiscal adjustments necessary to address emerging economic realities and ensure effective service delivery to the people of HOMA Bay County. Honorable Speaker, before I proceed further, I want to appreciate the Budget and Appropriations Committee for their diligence in scrutinizing this document. Honorable Speaker, their observations and recommendations are very vital in shaping a framework that is both fiscally responsible and development-oriented, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to give an overview of some adjustments that I've noticed in this budget. The total resource envelope for this supplementary budget is projected at 12.9 billion, representing an increase of 1.1 billion from the initial estimates, Honorable Speaker. This increment probably is attributed, as explained by the chair, to additional conditional grants and the reverting of unspent balances, as explained by the budget chair, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the revised allocation earmarks 8.04 billion, that is 38% for development expenditure. Honorable Speaker, this is a commendable increase or improvement towards aligning with the fiscal responsibility principles of the PFM Act 2012, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, and allow me visit the key sectoral priorities as explained in this document. Honorable Speaker, allow me to start with the Department of Health, of Public Health and Medical Services. This department has received a significant allocation of 3.06 billion, reaffirming the county government's commitment to improving healthcare services. And Honorable Speaker, you can see they are prioritizing upgrading of facilities and acquiring of medical equipment, and even settling of pending bills, which are very crucial for this county's growth, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the Department of Agriculture and Livestock Development, there is a revised allocation of 628.6 million. Honorable Speaker, recently we were distributing seeds, and we all know how seed distribution has enhanced food security in the county. And also, Speaker, this allocation is not bad enough for this department, Honourable Speaker. On roads, there is an allocation of 830.3 million. Honourable Speaker, in order to improve connectivity and access, particularly through bridge construction and road rehabilitation, this amount is very crucial in improving access to different facilities, different areas. Honourable Speaker, these will bolster economic activities and service delivery to the people of Homa Bay County. Honourable Speaker, on the Department of Education, somebody once said that education is not a preparation for life. Education is itself life, or education is life itself. Honourable Speaker, the Department of Education will receive 1.31 billion aimed at strengthening vocational training and early childhood education infrastructure, ensuring that our youth are equipped for the future. Honourable Speaker, I want to appreciate the Budget Committee for finding it fit to allocate such an amount to the Department of Education, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, with the while the supplementary, Honourable Speaker, is addressing immediate fiscal needs, there are challenges that still persist. Honourable Speaker, one of the challenges, Okoth highlighted it, is rising wage bill. Honourable Speaker, personal emoluments represents 45.2% of the revised budget. Honourable Speaker, it is imperative to rationalize staffing and enhance revenue collection to mitigate this burden so that we can align ourselves to the very laws that regulate wage bill. Honourable Speaker, on pending bills, we have 451 million that has been set aside for pending bills. And there's a balance of 592 million. Not forgetting that there is also historical pending bills that were never factored in the budget. Honourable Speaker, as I conclude, I want to say that this County Assembly, the Budget and Appropriation Committee has done as well, especially on projects that are related to wards. Honourable Speaker, through the Homa Bay County Assembly Public Service Board, there is an increased allocation for development. The development has been increased to 271,500,333 Kenya shillings from 142,564,789 in the initial estimates. Honourable Speaker, we have seen that this allocation includes the completion of the first phase of MCA ward offices at 80 million, and also starting of the second phase of construction of the ward offices at 80 million. And then there is also an inclusion of fencing for ward offices at 40 million for the entire, for all the wards in the entire county. Honourable Speaker, we also have to appreciate the Public Service Board for prioritizing pending bills. They have allocated 48,945,935,544 to settle various pending bills. Honourable Speaker, this will foster fiscal responsibility and clearing historical financial obligations, Honourable Speaker. So I feel this was very prudent, or this was prudently done by this important committee. Honourable Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Eric. Honorable Adongo Walter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And at the onset, I rise to support the adoption of this report. And Mr. Speaker, allow me give my felicitations to the chair and the committee. They have done a good work. I think this is good for all of us. It's not just for the committee. Mr. Speaker, looking at the whole report and giving it some critical analysis, there are a number of issues that would come up from this report. That if, as a county, we had an opportunity to implement as was requested by the executive, then it would be miles ahead. Looking at what was approved for the budget 2024-2025, vis-a-vis what we now have in supplementary one, Mr. Speaker, we need to go it thumbs up. Allow me raise just a few issues on this budget that, Mr. Speaker, as the first supplementary, we realized that we had a total of 19 budget lines. That is the different departments. And out of those different departments, Mr. Speaker, 10 of them, which is representing a 52.6%, have had an increase or a rise in their allocation, meaning that what they requested during the budget for 2024-2025, they thought inwardly and increased, and then this committee has also accepted and increased this for them. Looking at it again, there are 5 which have been maintained at the level that they were at approval. Unfortunately, there are 4 of them, that is at 21.1%, that have been revised downward. But looking at the figures that have been revised, they're not so significant as such. Now, Mr. Speaker, just on that, these departments, the 10 different departments that have had an increase, some of the increases are substantial. For example, in the Department of Public Health and Medical Services, there is an increase of 51% from what was approved, Mr. Speaker. And by coincidence, there is also 51 million that is being allocated for the parlor, for the funeral parlor. It's just a coincidence, but because figures do not lie, I think this, to those of us who are in the medical department, who are in the Committee of Public Health and Medical Services, this to me is a signal that it's more of a wake-up call that if what they budgeted last financial year has been improved by 51%, then it means because we are giving them much, we should also expect much from them. On the same vein, the trade industry, tourism, cooperative development, and marketing has had a rise of 49.9%. This is also something to note, that all the elected members here would tell you, by large and extension, that a number of things are not right with the projects that are in that department, vis-a-vis the type of allocation that has been given to them. So I think this is also a wake-up call for those in that committee, I included. Mr. Speaker, the agriculture, irrigation, and livestock production has had a whooping increase of 32.9%. I think, Mr. Speaker, we expect much from them. And I would enlist them one by one, but just allow me make this note as well, that for the finance and plan. But again, looking at all these now from vantage point, that if these resources are prudently as raised, that we need prudent financial management. Mr. Speaker, just on the other hand is about, other than having the increase in our envelope, our own source revenue, as has been reiterated by one of the members, that is now we are almost ending the third quarter of the financial year 2024-2025. But we are at 45%, Mr. Speaker. This to me is a real challenge. It's a real challenge. But in terms of time, done. Because if we are only able to collect about 6 million in a million in 9 months, how are we going to collect 722? Are we, as a executive, really hands-on in the estimates? That, Mr. Speaker, it goes again directly to our consumption. Looking at the figures and the work that this committee has done, I don't think it was a walk in the park. They must have taken time. And more, even the secretariat that they are having, I want to applaud them. This was good work. But now, once we have struggled to appropriate, departments request but a slight variance. But the way, I think, if that was part of it, then is a very strong maiden speech. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable.
Maiden speech. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable.
First and foremost, allow me to congratulate the budget. First and foremost, allow me to congratulate the budget on a comprehensive and a very detailed report on to our people, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is within the eye on the conditional grants. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, these grants always come with specific conditions. The grants that is from the national government, Honorable Speaker, and also from the development partners, they always come with specific conditions which must be met before they are disbursed to us, Honorable Speaker. So if you look at how this budget estimate has been packaged, Honorable Speaker, it has been packaged in a way that it has aligned itself with some of the requirements, the requirements of these conditional grants, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you look at how these grants have been even integrated, Honorable Speaker, in this budget, Honorable Speaker, they have been integrated, Honorable Speaker, to and I want to ask that it is important, the way my colleague had said. Honorable Speaker, allow me to say something also on the Department of Youths. The Department of Youths, Honorable Speaker. The Department of Youths, Honorable Speaker. We have been given an allocation of 275 million on the development. I was just going 25 million, Honorable Speaker. They have talked of heritage centers, our heritage centers. They have talked of that is going to ensure that our women youths have been factored. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Budget and Appropriation Committee for that. And also the Department of Treasury for considering that. Honorable Speaker, before I conclude my submission, allow me to say something, Honorable Speaker, on the pending bill. From the previous report that was brought before this House by the Budget Committee, that budget review and outlook paper, bill, and even from this report, we were having a pending bill of around 592 million, Honorable Speaker, the issue of the pending bill. Because this pending bill, Honorable Speaker, if it was not sorted out, it was going to ground our county government. In so many ways, Honorable Speaker. It was going to affect
our county government's liquidity and the ability to operational expenses. And Honorable Speaker, in your future. To curb the accumulation of huge pending bills, Honorable Speaker, and to do something about the a better cash flow management, Honorable Speaker. If the county treasury can consider adjusting on a better cash flow management and also to work on realistic budget projection and strict adherence to the payment schedule, that will really help us also to adjust on this issue of accumulation of large pending bills, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, also a thorough audit, Honorable Speaker. That is the county treasury. They should carry a thorough audit to ensure paid are legitimate, accurate, and that will help us not to pay erroneous county government, Honorable Speaker. They are part of us. And it is high time for the department, that is the Treasury Department, the County Treasury Department, to engage them, Honorable Speaker, so that we can agree with them on a feasible payment plan, Honorable Speaker. That will help us to have a good working rapport between the government and the creditors, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is also important for the County Treasury to carry a detailed review of its expenditure, Honorable Speaker, because that will ensure the approved budget. That can also manage this issue of pending bill. And also, I want to ask the Treasury if they can consider doing something like a medium-term financial strategy. This medium-term financial strategy, Honorable Speaker, will help the Treasury in balancing the budgeted revenues and the expenditures, Honorable Speaker. And also, it will put in place the measures to ensure that the pending bills have been timely paid, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, I want to support the adoption of this report. Thank you.
Thank you. I am going to give everyone who wants to speak time, but try to summarize so that we don't go beyond the required time because of the afternoon. Honorable Susan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity given. From the onset, I want to support the adoption of this report. Before I do that, allow me to applaud the Chair for Budget and Appropriations. This is a very good report, and it is behind. This is a very good report, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, why has that the county received about 490 million from external sources, Honorable Speaker? We again had the leftover money from last year, Honorable Speaker. That is about 98.5 million, Honorable Speaker, and that was not spent in the last year, and it has been reverted to Honorable Speaker. Then again, we found the late this, Honorable Speaker, and the county shares from the national government, Honorable Speaker, was Honorable Speaker, and what does that mean to the county? That means the county must adjust, but will still provide key services, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is something of interest that my learned friend, Honorable Awaka, mentioned. This is about the support for marginalized areas on the equalization fund, Honorable Speaker. This time round, and has been brought in this supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker, they'll still receive an extra 131 million, Honorable Speaker. This will help improve services and infrastructure to those areas, Honorable Speaker. That is a splendid, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that was set aside for the playgrounds. Honorable Speaker. Then two, Honorable Speaker, it will ensure money is used efficiently. Projects and ward-based projects. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, it will support fair distribution of vote hearing in this committee, Honorable Speaker, is adhered to. Then we thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Pauline.
Tu siku hii leo. Ni ripoti nzuri sana, tena limesomwa vizuri. Kila idara limepata pesa. Lazima ziangaliwe na zifuatiliwe kwa niko na kia ya kuwa sheria litaweza kuchukua mkondo wake na ataweza kuona report hii leo.
Honorable Speaker, we have seen a great progress total budget every year, especially for the development account or vote. It is now very important, Honorable Speaker, that our departments get to utilize the money allocation that is much more than what was given here. Why is this, Honorable Speaker? It is because our county has managed to give if it is possible that the more we give, the more we get. It is therefore my request that in future the Department of Water gets more allocation so that our share in FLOCA gets to increase. Honorable Speaker, it is again very important for me to speak about this budget this year, a supplementary budget, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in my county, in my ward, there is around 3 polling stations that historically, Honorable Speaker, they have been receiving services from Migori County because they cannot access any. The people of Kawere and the people of Ogengo of this independence, because when it comes to health, they have to go to Migori County. Education, they have to get it from Migori County. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, this is an opportunity that is going to help my people. Honorable Speaker, just as my colleagues have also said, it's very important, Honorable Speaker, a county that grows or a government that grows is a government that is considerate more so on its wage bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as leaders of this great county, our wage bill greatly affects our resource basket, Honorable Speaker. And it's very important, Honorable Speaker, that I'm happy the Budget Committee have recommended that within 3 years, let there be a plan on how to manage our wage bill. And therefore, this needs to be a therefore. Lastly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's good that as a House, we get to look into what best can we do when it comes to management of our wage bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we get to budget, and some of our, in our budget, there are itemized budget allocations, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it gets unfortunate when such a project is funded, done, completed, and years later, these contractors are not paid. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I request that as a House, we get to think so that we get on a table and consult with the Department of Finance and get to see what really is ailing or what makes some of these payment not to be done. We are aware that there was a pending bill that was inherited, but please, Honorable Speaker, as a House, we still need to do much when it comes to pending bills. I thank you, Honorable Speaker and members.
Thank you. I have 2 minutes, and I want to divide it to the 2 last gentlemen and lady. I am starting with the Honorable Ogada.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Then Dr. Kochola will finish.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is just very brief. There is a department for gender, inclusivity, youth sport. It's balkanized. And I would want to pose this question in the House today. As we leave this room, having supported the adoption of this report, how are the disabled people in your wards going to get the assistive devices? Because I don't see it anywhere. It is not itemized. And so they will come directly to you, and I think that is a problem that is awaiting you. The second observation, recently when we had a changeover of government in America and a change of policy, there was a lot of money that was supporting health services. How has it been reallocated? I hope the chairman will respond to the two issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kochola.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to make note of what I have seen in the budget. But before I do that, let me congratulate the Chair of Budget for the good work that he has done, this being his inaugural chairmanship of that committee, together with his team. I want to support the adoption of the report. However, I want to note that in the Department of the Treasury, Planning and Budgeting, and specifically Internal Revenue Generation, I see in the budget of 2024-2025, they allocated 28,486,600. 2025, the same, and 2025-26, there's 31,486,000. I visited Ushuru House last week, Honorable Speaker, and we went into the boardroom. That boardroom, Honorable Speaker, does not have chairs to sit on. The chairs that we sat on were broken, and they said that the budgetary allocation for them is inadequate to provide them with chairs even for repairs. So maybe as we look at appropriation, we should look and see Ushuru House and the team there that is actually generating and helping to generate the on-source revenue are very demotivated. If we cannot find a seat that is not broken to sit on, you can imagine what they go through every day. Some new looking vehicle, however, that those who are due have gratuity need a provision to be made in our budget. For remarks, Honorable Speaker, I wish to support the adoption of the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Members, for a wonderful debate. I will now call upon the Chair to move. Pardon? The mover to reply.
Speaker, and first of all, the Speaker, I will start by thanking all areas to cater for the needs of by Honorable Gada about action on aid that we are getting the United States. Honorable Speaker, what I will give on that, adding more funds onto the departments which are affected. Last speaker, Honorable Speaker, on gratuity. I think when we come to the main budget finish, Honorable Speaker, as I ask members to support the adoption of this report, I will thank you greatly. It is an honor that committee to chair. Honorable Speaker, I think I'm best stand as time was Speaker at it.
Thank you, Honorable Members. Yes, it is indeed, while we were debating, the highs have it. It's indeed, while we were debating, the highs have it. Next order.
Order number 9.